Welcome to The Leaders Who Care, a podcast powered by Dynamis Group. We are here to give the stage and support to those committed to create a positive and lasting impact, way beyond the profits and margins, the leaders of the world who care for others and serve a bigger purpose. Join us on the journey of creating a better, more caring world. And now to your host, Marian Temelkov.
Dear audience, happy International Women's Day, first of all, and what a pleasure and joy to celebrate this day. We should celebrate this every day, and in the honor of women and around the world, we have invited a very special guest, somebody with a very humble beginning, and also an incredible leader with full of integrity and humility. And I'm honored to welcome today Danielle Rainha. Danielle, thank you so much for joining us and welcome on the Leaders Who Care.
Thank you very much, Maria. It's a pleasure to be here with you to share a bit my personal history and how I have been the caring of people that stay around me. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Thank you, Danielle. And I'm really interested to hear more about your own journey, how it all started, and what role, of course, care played into it. And you were in a role of a chief HR officer. I mean, that is such a great role to have when you care about others and when you care about people. I think it's just fascinating to see the potential of people, to take care of them and help them grow. It's just amazing. But the question is, how did you get to where you are today? Maybe tell us more about your beginning. How did it all started? And we always look at the childhood and then work towards the journey, because success leaves clues, and we are after those clues. So it would be great to hear your journey in your beginning.
My pleasure to share my journey. I think we have to know where we come from to understand where we are now, shape our future. So I try all the time to honor my past. So I am Danielle Rainha. I am 48 years old. I am Carioca. I was born in Rio de Janeiro. And I had the opportunity were born in a very, very, very special family, caring family. My grandmother, who helped us to grow up, she was a LPG dealer, an entrepreneur woman, very strong woman. My father was a teacher. My mother was a secretary, and we in a favela in Rio de Janeiro. And it is something that's very interesting because my father decided to put all the effort in our education. I have two brothers younger than me. So my father put a lot of effort to give the best of our education. So I studied in one of the best school in Rio de Janeiro. I had an opportunity to study abroad also. But we grew up in a favela because we understand that it would be the best way to invest in our future. It's a long-term view. I say that the first contact that I have with strategic planning in my life, it was with my parents when they decided to invest in our education. And in a favela environment, I have to say that we learned a lot. We learned about respect, collaboration, sharing, empathy. It's something that also make me unique to have the opportunity to develop my skills, my ability, but also to develop my interpersonal side. Until 17, I lived with my parents. Then after that, I started work. I became an elementary teacher. I started my career as a teacher. And then after that, I started my career as an internee in a pharmaceutical company. And I spent 13 years in a company where I could build my technical background. Then I went to a oil and gas company where I could develop my leadership skills and also international perspective. After that, I went to a family-owned company, national family-owned company with 10,000 employees, and my mission there was to support them to run the IPO. And then finally, 9 years ago, I joined the company that I work with nowadays. I joined SHV. I started in SHV as an HR director in Supergasbras in Rio de Janeiro. Then I became the CHRO of macro in South America. And now, 1 year ago, I became the CHRO, global CHRO for SHV Energy. So it's a bit about me. I am a single mother. I have two lovely boys, Antonio and Bernardo. Antonio is 9 years old and Bernardo is 15 years old. They are my partners in the journey. I think it's a bit about me.
Oh, thank you so much, Danielle, for sharing this inspirational start and humble beginning, and how it shaped you. And I mean, it was very interesting because you were growing up in the favela, but you were studying at the most one of the, let's say, the most prestigious schools, or let's say that your father was really working very hard. That must have been a quite a big contrast, like day and night. You're going in that place in this where other privileged maybe children are going to, whereas coming home into a very uh, uh, let's say underprivileged environment.
It's interesting because it's helped me a lot, and it's allowed me to develop myself, to be flexible, to understand the environment that I am, and to learn from the both sides, because I had an opportunity to live the best of both sides. Of course, we face some challenge. Of course, as a children, you didn't understand because why your colleagues will go to have a vacation outside of your country, and you have to spend your vacation in the house of your relatives close by your house. So it's something that sometimes it's difficult. It's we learned a lot. I think to have flexibility, to understand the environment that you are, to connect with people independent of the social conditions that they have, I think it's very powerful.
How did that helps you, growing in such a way in your current role as a chief people's officer?
I think it's something that make me, I would say, unique. I can go to the field, I can go to a store or a filling plant to talk with our employees, to understand them, to I know them, I know where they come from, and I
Mm.
also be able to give a strategic presentation in the management board or in the board the company that I work with. I think it's this flexibility and this ability to adapt myself and to take the best of every place that I am. I grew up in Brazil. I had an opportunity to live in Mexico for a short period of time, and now I am living in the Netherlands. Completely different environment, but I am completely sure that this experience that I have in my childhood helped me to be here where I am.
Well, I'm sure it's really great to see and hear your perspective. And we talk about very different environments, very different cultures, also both in terms of the wealthy and underprivileged on one end. That's contrast. We talk about different international nationalities, and what does in what does culture really means for the success of an organization, and how how do you really define that when you operate in a global environment? Um, what are the dynamics, and really what are your take on when you form a culture?
I would say that the culture of the organization is one of the power, how can I say it? It's one of the power elements for the success of the organization. Culture is the way that you behave, the way that you hire, lay off, promote people in your organization. Culture is not the picture that you put on the wall or the values that you're talking about. And the way how to live it, how to live the values of the company, how you, as a leader in the company, show your commitment and your leadership behavior about your employees. There is a statement that I like very much that culture can eat the strategy during the breakfast. And I completely agree. Sometimes you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you don't know how to mobilize your team, how to mobilize your people, to engage them about the purpose that you have in place, the strategy that you try to implement, you will be in trouble.
And just coming, thank you. I really very much align on this, and I've seen it so many times. The culture, that attitude, that mission, if you like, that the company or a group of people aspire to is so important to the success of the company, even much more important than the strategy. Um, what does, in your opinion, what does r- when you talk about care, what is the role of care in um, in a successful in a culture that really delivers success, business as well as um, success, where people are thriving, where people feel um, happy? Is there a conflict between care and business performance?
From my side, I think there is no conflict. For me, it's connected. I can talk about myself and then talk a bit the organization that I work with, that I choose
Sure.
to work with. Um, for me, to work with human resource, to work in organization, it's about purpose. It's the purpose of my life. It's something that I decide. I am the agent of change. The place that I am working, I try to influence it, to spread the caring and the well-being and the psychological safety environment. It's something that is part of my agenda in every place that I go. So for me, it's not about service and the product. For me, it's about love and people. And I try to be very consistent to live it in my daily base. And there is a very, very, very good combination between people, performance, and also the environment that we are working with, the communities that we are playing. So today, the company that I have the possibility, and I am very happy to work with, we have a very strong purpose: courage to care for generations to come. It means a lot because it's not only about the business, but it's also about the world, what we have been doing here that will impact the generations. So, how we can drive it, how we can lead this process. So, the purpose, it's something that connects very much with my heart and the way that I believe and that I try to behave in my daily base. So, for me, to be in an organization that in some way or most of our actions we try to connect courage to care for generations to come with business decision driving performance people and planet, it's something that is very powerful.
I love that. We just said the courage to care for generations to come. That is really powerful because we're building wealth for future generations. And I always believe that business is a catalyst for positive impact. Tell us more. What are how does that work with your organization? What are the initiatives that you really appreciate or you really value, or the one you've implemented for other colleagues maybe that are in HR, that are currently thinking of, we may not be there yet, but we want to get there?
What we try to do is all the business decision that we take, we put the values and the purpose on the table. So if we have an investment and if we have a divestment and all the business decision, we put the values and the purpose on the table. So the document that we have to prepare to the board to submit some approval, we include how each will be connected with our purpose and with our values. It's from the business perspective. From the HR side, our performance appraisal, we have what and we have how. And in how, we have what we call leadership behaviors that is totally connected with our purpose and our values. We have a very good discussion about people in our organization, how we can promote internal promotion, how we can give visibility to our employees, to promote, to generate opportunity for them to grow. And what we try to do is to use the leadership behavior, connect with our values, because you can be in China, Brazil, in any place in the world. The leadership behavior, it's something that should be very consistent in what we believe, totally connected with our purpose and our values.
Isn't that the most difficult job, to get that leadership, middle management, to be aligned and really live that purpose? Because often companies have the biggest struggle with the middle management, or the not just the top leadership, but how do you get that vision, to be fully aligned across the leadership in the organization?
I can share my experience with you when I was in the line, when I was in the operation. Today, the position that I am far from the operation, because I am the CHRO. Then we have the HR directors in each business unit, and then the HR directors care about the, let's say, the cultural development in each business unit. We have the drive, we have the strategy. Our strategy is very simple, very clear. It's engage, development, and drive growth based on DNI. So it's something that's very simple that we communicate extensively, but the operation stay with the HR directors in the business unit. But what I can see, and also to share about my operation, my experience when I was in the line, we should give voice. We should listen from our employees. I can give you a very concrete example. I had an experience before. I was in a business unit, and we were struggling with margin and sales. What we did, we invite our employees, people that were on the floor, the middle management, the buyers, to come together to reflect how we can improve our margin, how we can improve our sales. So instead of the top leaders in the company to think about this, we stop and we invite people to be together with us to think about the possible solution to improve our business. And it is very powerful when you engage truly your employees. It's something that's it's mobilized, and they feel committed. They feel that they are part of the solution. So if I can give you advice or to share my experience, I think we have to engage and we have to listen to our employees, because they have a lot to teach to us.
Absolutely. And Daniele, it's how important is the that diversity of the employees, or diversity in the, creating that inclusive culture in a global context when you operate globally?
I think it's something that it should be part of our strategic agenda. In our case, it is part of our strategic agenda. So we have targets related to a DNI, not because it's beautiful, because it's touched in our PNL. If you have more people thinking in a different way, you have more creativity, you have more innovation, and automatically it will impact in your business results. So here we have targets related to nationality, we have targets related to gender, and all the business units, they set their targets to improve diversity and inclusion in their business units according to the reality and the cultural side of their countries.
That is really powerful. To take these difference of opinions and cover the blind spots. I think the more diverse thinking you have, and we're a great advocate for neurodiversity because every brain is unique and different, and latest statistics shows that 20 to 30% of your workforce is likely to be neurodiverse. Well, everyone is unique, but especially when you are reflecting those numbers, and they could go much higher for some other businesses. It just shows how important it is to understand how people operate, what makes them feel safe, how to unlock their productivity, how to give them stage. And I think one of the greatest challenges we find is that to create this psychological safety, how do you create that? How do you unlock this creativity of people? Because if they come from a very, call it more um, uh, traditional or environment where it's driven top down, where there is more fear than safety, what do they need? What companies need to do to change that?
I think the key point in this discussion is leadership. I think you have to invest to prepare your leaders to know who you hire to the company, if this person has the fit, the cultural fit that you expect. So leadership is something that's very important, and also create some mechanism to allow people to express themselves. So we invest a lot in our leadership behavior and the leadership development, but on the other hand, you have to create some mechanism inside to allow people to speak up, to put themselves. So we have a very strong area that we call ethics compliance, that people they have an opportunity, if they don't feel comfortable to share something that it's not okay with them, with the line manager or with human resource, they can also use this channel. So what I mean, I think one thing that is very important, that is backbone of the culture, is leadership. The other one is to create some mechanism to create this safe environment. And also I think everybody has to have accountability in this process. Everybody has to be comfortable to be who you are, and also to express yourself with respect in a work environment. We work pretty much in self-esteem. There is some basic concept related to self-esteem. What do you need to feel to feel empowered? The first one is the sense of belongingness. So you feel that you are part of this organization, you are part of this dynamic. The second one is to feel important, that your contribution is important for the organization. Your presence here, in some way, you are contributing for the better results of this company. And the third one, in some way, it's caring. It's to care, to feel that we care about you in this company, and you automatically care about the company also. So this is the three pillars that we try to work to enhance the level of engagement of our employees. And in some way, we try to communicate it internally and externally. If you ask me what is the value proposition of the company that I work with now, I would say that the environment that we have a very, very positive environment that help us to keep our employees in the organization, to retain our employees, and in some way also attract new talents.
No, this is very, very helpful. And indeed, that's a great start and great beginning. And looking at where you obviously done a lot of great things in the organization, which is why you are there and stayed such a long period, which is a great testimonial for the company. Um, but not every company has that ability to retain people for such a long time and talent. Um, what do you think is fundamental to really improve that retention moving forward, especially in the context of future of work? What what does next 10 years may look like, and what future of HR may look like?
I have to be very humble. I can share my perception based on the trends that I have been watching in the marketing. But I think today the world is very volatile. Everything has been changed very fast. So considering the dynamic that we have in the marketing, and also the pandemic touch in the way that the relationship that you have with your work and also with your personal life. The perspective it changed. So in some way, the organization has to be prepared to deal with the new aspiration, the new the different wishes, something that were very important to me as a professional. Today, for the team that is working with me, it's not the same. So I think we have to be prepared. First, listen, learn, and react. Observe what happened. See what happened. Look at the market. Listen to our employees. Listen to outside. Learning about what happened around us. And be sharp and agile to take the right decision in order to keep your business alive. There is no answer for this question. What I can do, what I can say, that we have to follow what happened outside. We have to follow our own, let's say, gut feelings, our intuition, and it's very important. Listen to your employees. Talk with your employees. Show that you care about them. Respect their way. Try to understand their wish. It's something that's very powerful.
I love what you just said, and that is listen, learn, react. It's double LR. It's if in abbreviation that's really powerful, and I think that that is really relevant at any stage, whether this is in 10 years, in 20 years, and whether there's more automation or robots that are coming in. Because what we're seeing is, despite all this automation, despite all these tools that are coming along, there's even more need of human interaction. There's more authenticity of people connecting in an authentic way, and I'm in a positive way excited that technology used for the right way to save us more time could actually improve our well-being, if we, of course, use it well, because we could do things faster. We could get technology to do mundane tasks that we were not so happy with in the past. So we could be more in the presence of our clients, our colleagues, our family, instead of just doing that. So I feel really there's a really great world coming ahead of us. But more importantly, when it comes down to you personally, Daniele, how do you take care of yourself? How do you sustain yourself? And especially in such a demanding role.
Very good question. What I try to do is to invest time in my self awareness. I think it's something for me, it's very powerful to know myself, to embrace my abilities, to understand myself and to know that I don't have answer for everything, but I can be humble to ask support, to ask help. For me, for example, I do a therapy session every week. It's something for me, it's very important to make me feel strong, to know myself, to listen myself. I go to the gym every week, twice a week. I'll go to the gym. It's something that give me energy. To be with my family, it's something that give me energy. To study different things. Now I am living in Netherlands and I try to learn Dutch. It's something that give me energy to learn new things. To participate in seminar, to follow market trends, to enhance my network. It's something that give me energy. So what I try to do, in my life, I try to discover who I am. And I have to say that I have a new Daniele every day. Every day I discover new things about myself. So who I am and what is important to me, what make me feel happy, what give me energy, and how I can spread it worldwide. I like very much the combination of contribution and grow. When I give myself, when I can contribute, I grow. So I like this kind of combination, given and grow. It's something that for me make me feel happy and give me a lot of energy.
Growing and giving, I love that. It's really really great suggestion, and it works every time. It is just gives a great fulfillment and meaning. When you grow, you feel alive. When you start giving, you feel 10 times more alive. It's just like really a great way of making a difference. Daniele, talking about some of our audience is really the future leaders, so up and coming, uh, the the Gen Z stars that are considering what is next for me, what do I want to do, discovering their own journey and path. And I like what you just said. I'm discovering, invest time to work on yourself and discover yourself, which is a great advice. But what else would you advise young people, the future leaders that are considering a journey? I wouldn't say a career, even considering to uh, commit or explore that journey of becoming a a person that takes care of others, or career or journey in HR and human resources?
My first suggestion would be yourself. Feel comfortable about who you are, where you come from. Then invest time to see to discover about your purpose in life. Why you are born? Why? Why are you here? What is your purpose in life? What is important to you? What matter to you? And then prepare a plan and go for it. But the first thing, the starting point, it's about yourself. Why are you here?
Absolutely. That is great advice. And final question, Daniela, and it's been really helpful to listen to your journey and your insights, what you shared. Thinking about the future, and if your wish, your hope, I love that question. If what is your hope or wish for more caring or better world? If you had no limits, what would you wish to see?
I'd like to see a big or great collaboration, support. I love the word allyship. I think we have to be ally for everybody that we can. Open the door, giving feedback, support each other. I truly believe that we are one. While we have one people that it's not happy in this world in some way, it will impact us. So my hope, maybe it's a dream, but I really believe about this, is to impact as much as possible people around me worldwide to be an ally, to enhance the concept of allyship worldwide.
Wonderful vision, and very much supported and being an ally with you, and seeing more people thrive at work, not survive. I really love to see, and allyship is definitely the way to go. So, Daniele, it's been great to have you today. Thank you so much for taking the time, knowing your commitments in your demanding role. It's been a pleasure, and blessings goes out to you, your family, and your colleagues, company, and thank you for um, making a difference and being a leader who cares.